Are you calm under pressure? Do you overreact, run away, or panic? Philippians 4:5-6 talks about rejoicing in the Lord and not allowing yourself to become anxious about the worries of the day. This idea of anxiety in the Greek is this idea of fixating on the parts. In other words, becoming overwhelmed by what you can see immediately in front of you and losing perspective on the bigger picture. In Being Human, we talk lots about some of the big crises and contested stories of our world today. We notice just how fraught life can be at the moment, whether it's a cost of living crisis, strikes, climate change, AI, political turmoil at home, or war abroad. And whatever's going on with you, it can seem sometimes that there is just always something to be anxious about. And yet the invitation of Scripture is to look beyond the immediate and remember the bigger story. In Mark 5, we find Jesus on his way to help his friend Jairus and heal his young daughter who is at home desperately sick. She's dying, and Jesus was invited to help and yet got waylaid. He got distracted by another woman who had been ill for like 12 years, and he stopped. She was healed, they chatted, and in that time the young girl died. There was a crisis, and the God-man Jesus seemed distracted and disinterested in Jairus' life. And yet, Jesus didn't seem that bothered. He said to Jairus, "Don't worry, have faith." And he went to the girl's house, took her hand and said, "My darling, it's time to wake up now." The girl was healed. Jesus wasn't late. He wasn't distracted. He just didn't let the circumstances around him overwhelm him. He kept his eyes on the bigger picture. When we're surrounded by crisis, are we anxious because we're fixated on the parts? Or do we have a big enough story that assures us that God is always in control, God can always be relied upon, that we can rejoice in who he is and what he promises us? Until next time, take care and God bless.